Hi, guys.
Good morning, Jonas.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, all.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey. Just give it a few minutes here to see who's joining.
Hey guys, good morning.
Hey, Louis.
Hello.
Where is the recording of the last TSC meeting? Did I go away?
I have to
somehow when
double check. I may have missed posting it. I'll get it posted. Last week's you're talking about. You want to get up there?
Yeah, January 20th. I think. Yeah, exactly. So
I'll get it posted.
Okay. And it's not something we can just fetch from Zoom, right? It's something you have to do, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a manual thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So.
What the heck happened here? 26. Oh. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had changed that, but maybe was that from yesterday or for today?
Today I had put some. So if I click on January 26th now, it's empty, and actually, why did I call it 26? It doesn't matter. It's empty. That's very strange because that's today's meeting, and I had 3 bullets in there.
Yeah, and I'm looking at them.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, me.
Okay, yeah. You can see them. If I click on that now, for whatever reason, it's completely empty.
No, I mean, there are 3 agenda items: release schedule, presentations, and wiki content.
Let me close my browser and open it again and see if I can.
Yeah, reload that.
Yeah. Community meetings. Yeah. So the first one was the release thing. Okay. Yeah, it's back. I don't know what happened. I think I goofed up somehow. It even has the correct date. So it's 4 minutes past, so I think we can safely say we have all the people here that we're going to get. Release schedule, we just wanted to, it's not to try to, again, change anything. It's just from HPE's point of view, we're not going to be able to support 3 releases. So we will be able to support 2 of them in some sort of a limping way. What I mean with support is when we hit the RC period, we would do significant testing with on a system level, and that's we talk to our PLMs and we try to move it around. And we're still discussing, but it doesn't look like we can support 3 of those RC periods a year.
Hey, Jonas, this is Susan. Sorry to interrupt, but I did have some thoughts on this. I wanted to ask if I could get it on the agenda. Can I explain a little bit from my perspective?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in the last meeting, as you all know, we decided to go with 3 releases a year. And as I sat down and looked at the calendar, I realized something, and that is that these 3 time periods are not the same. So if we're going to do the January release at the end of this week, then we'll have February, March, April, to do development, and then May is testing and release. So far, so good. Then after the May release, we've got June, July, and August, and then September testing and release. When you get past that in the year, you have a September release followed by October, November, and December. And when we come back 1st of January, it's time to test and release. We know historically, at least within HPE and certainly with teams I've worked with in different companies, that fall time period is problematic as far as holidays. So there are some significant holidays in the fall in India, some of them more than one-day celebrations. And for those of us in the US, we know that by the time you hit Thanksgiving, you're going to get 2-3 weeks of work done between that and the end of the year because of the typical holidays that people take here. So when I looked at it, that January release is likely to be pretty small. And I would actually like to ask if there's any way, given what we're seeing with the schedules, if we could revisit this and talk about 2 times a year versus 3. And this may not be proper because I know the decision was made last week, but I can tell you that in comparing it to what actually goes on at those times of the year, I'm seeing problems. And, you know, every release requires the overhead of all the testing and all the processes required to get it out. So didn't look so good once I actually dug in and started looking at the yearly cycle.
The thing is, I guess the community has decided on 3 releases. I guess to revisit this, I think something else needs to change. I just wanted to let people know that for us, it's not doable to fully support 3 releases.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, sure.
We can offset the release dates every 4 months. We can, kind of start with February next time around, and then kind of work our way from there, which would give us a buffer in January to kind of finish everything and do the testing. Okay, that's one thing we can do. We don't have to have a release in January. We can shift things by 1 month, and that typically takes care of things in terms of accommodating holidays. And actually, I think that's, if Louis, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what ONAP is doing. They're kind of offsetting things, with their release schedule to avoid that crunch.
Yes.
And then the second thing I wanted to suggest is that for this coming year, given the size of the community and the fact that we don't have a lot of people working on ODIM collectively, why don't we just kind of go as we go with the flow and basically see if we can make another release this year? Great. Then we have, until the following February to work on something. So we'll maybe do 2 releases this year, and then go to a 3 release schedule after, if and only if we get more members and more community participation. Right?
Yeah.
To me, if it doesn't make any sense to, if it's not feasible from a community perspective to have 3 releases, then A, we shouldn't have voted for it. B, if we did, let's delay that until we have maybe more participating companies and more critical mass. And most importantly, until we have an integration lab or a testing lab that can be easily accessible by any community member. So even if HP cannot support the integration kind of work, somebody else can pick up the bits.
Yeah.
But we need a common place to drop everything so that we can test the same bits every time.
Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. I think the big um, thing to vote on would have been whether or not we should have maintenance releases. And there, I think we got a pretty clear answer from the members that they didn't want maintenance releases. But then 2 versus 3 releases, I think is another topic. And I agree with the approach you're saying that as the community builds up, we can add more releases. And I guess I just wanted to mention that we have been discussing this internally, and it's very, very difficult for us to sign up for saying, hey, yeah, we will be fully there for all 3 releases.
Yeah.
And I guess Susan's point is the last release there in January, if we have one in September and then one in January, there is a lot of holidays taking
Yeah, I mean,
away time.
and I get that, right? And I think Susan's issue can be alleviated by kind of picking different months to do the releases in. And, we should never do a January release because it will always be the case that December is pretty much a useless month. In fact, it's starting with the, like 3rd week in November and, going through the end of December, your mileage will vary. So to me, we kind of didn't think of this maybe, but I would have, had I thought about it more, I would have said, let's do it in February. And then whether we do it twice a year would mean that, we do it, whatever the next sequence is, 6 months. So we'll do it in August, and then, we'll do it in February again, and then August again, and February again, and August again. And I think that gives us some a better coverage, I guess, in terms of different parts of the world, in terms of holidays.
Yeah, I think I don't want to. We're set up to release this week, and I think
No, we should do it. I mean, again, let's use common sense. We've done the work. Everything is tested. Let's release. But nothing nowhere on our web pages does it say that it has to occur in January or the world will end, right? We can't be dealing in absolutes.
Yeah, agree. So how do we deal with this now then? Because we kind of had a vote on this last time.
I know, and I did want to mention I respect what the community says, and I was not bringing up any idea again that we should go with the maintenance releases because clearly that's not the desired plan. It was just this concern over the 3 versus 2. So I appreciate further discussion on this because I'm just looking at it from a practical execution point and going,
So can I make another suggestion? Can we vote on the following? Can we say that we're gonna delay the 3 release per year schedule until 2022?
Yep.
And at that time, we can reevaluate, re-examine. Things are likely to be different, hopefully, and that during that time frame, and we can decide. Who knows? There may be companies that join who say we need to do a release every 2 weeks. You never know. So for me, I think if no one has any heartburn, all of us, we have quorum, I believe. Yes. So if that's okay with everybody, we can take a vote, make it formal, but, I don't think we really need to. I think if it's okay with everyone, we can basically say that for 2021, we're sticking to 2 releases. For 2022, we're going to go to a 3 release schedule subject to review by the TSC.
Yeah, I did type it in for voting because we voted the other thing just to make it formal, and obviously we can do that if you like, Alex, or if you don't, we can just take a note. But,
no, I mean we can vote. I mean it's either +1 or -1, really, the vote. But yes, it's.
Oh yeah, sorry. Should I retype that? let's do this. +1.
Yes, -1 now, and that's it. And for
Okay.
formality, you're right. We probably should do that and just kind of record it. But look, again, we're not that huge and big at this point, so let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
It's a compromise. So
Are there
let's do
thoughts
that.
from other people? Because
Yeah.
I know I made some statements and I like what you're saying, Alex and Jonas. Did other people have different opinions? Resounding silence.
Yeah. I'm gonna call out, like, Rafal. Are you okay with this? Running the engineering team there, and I guess Musso and anybody else who's going to be affected by this, right?
Yeah, Muthu, you can explain on AMI stand, but I can give a hint. We already brought up that 2 releases is what is feasible from AMI standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Forgot about
Good
that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I was talking on mute. Yeah, thank you, Jose. That's what I was about to tell. We already we are good with the 2 releases this year.
Yeah, this is Rafa.
you're breaking up, man.
You're breaking up, Raphael.
Okay, but I'm fine with 2 releases.
So this is Piotr. Let me just add that I second basically what Alex was saying. So I disagree too.
So then, let's vote, right?
Okay.
Marcin,
Yeah,
Daniel.
is the only one that hasn't voted, but we
I think we have majority anyhow, but still.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So that's perfect, and we will again revisit them in 2022. So with that, then, can we move to the other one, the presentations? And specifically, I wanted to address. I know there've been some preparations on the demo. We had a meeting this morning, and we're moving along quite a bit. So that's working. There was this outstanding question about the ONAP presentation. And Joe's, you were not here last time, so that's why, or yesterday. So I just wanted to see if we could, perhaps Alex, you raise your concerns, and we kind of decided that we wanted to move in a different
Let's
direction.
recap maybe what happened in the meeting. So Jose, basically the email that I had sent to you and Jonas and Bob, I kind of repeated, kind of summarized what I had said to you guys. I think where we kind of were landing is that if we're going to talk to ONAP and we're going to have a dedicated session, rather than repeating pretty much the same material that we would cover in the general introduction, instead we could do a quick recap of what was in the general session, just to remind people. And then the bulk of the session could focus on a discussion around concrete use cases. Okay. And if you look at the use cases and if you look at scope of ONAP, the use cases around composition of physical resources probably are the most viable because ONAP doesn't deal with physical infrastructure, period.
Mm-hmm.
So if we basically, and this will allow us to have maybe more of an interactive discussion, because if we're missing something, if there are additional things that some companies might bring up, then it's going to give them a chance to provide some feedback. You can also talk about your plans to, since you're leading the development work on on the composition service, we could potentially even talk about that and what the plans are, you know, which APIs we're going to implement, you know, what the, you know, the general sort of the sketch of the architecture that we're kind of thinking about, that kind of stuff. And then we can actually, you know, kind of say, look, you know, from the ONAP perspective, we think that, you know, resources on demand in terms of composition, resizing resources or changing the config is where, you know, there would be value for ONAP to try and orchestrate things. Okay.
Mhm.
And see how much pushback we get. At the time when we did this project proposal, it passed and a lot of companies got behind it, right? But times have changed, priorities have changed, the landscape in ONAP has changed. And so who knows if there would be the same level of support for something like that. So that's kind of, but you know, if we make it kind of open and don't force, you know, don't say this is what we're going to be working on, then I think we'll get some feedback maybe. And I think that's kind of what the direction we were moving in. You weren't there, unfortunately, to kind of chime in.
Yes, yes. This is yesterday's meeting that we were discussing, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was out sick, so I couldn't join. But yeah, so this direction, I think it looks more feasible or more plausible, right? More practical also. If that is the case, then this session can't be the first one, right? In the schedule, I see two placeholders, one on Tuesday as an initial pitch to ONAP, and then one on Thursday after some sessions. So if you're taking this direction where we want to explain or talk about the composability use cases and look for feedbacks or gauge the sense on how else we can set our directions from the community, then it should be after your intro or the demo session, right? That way.
Yeah, my impression, maybe I'm completely nuts, but my impression was that we would do the introductory session first, then talk about the build, and then talk about, what was the third session and
Yeah.
fourth, right?
There is a schedule up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and pull up the schedule. I believe introduction is first, but let me just double check. But I'm quite sure it's first.
Yeah. I also
give me a moment. I'll get it up on the
email.
screen.
Yeah, I also got a separate email saying there are 2 slots booked for the same thing, and asking for me to clarify. So,
really?
Yeah, I think this change in
we start at 7 a.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday with ONAP placeholder for ODIM. So that's a 6 a.m. For you, Alex.
I think 9 o'clock. Yeah,
that's 9 o'clock for you. Yeah. So that's one, right? That's the only session we have on Tuesday, except in the after. Except we have one 9:30 as well. That's 8:30 for you, Alex. ODIM introduction.
Yeah. So there is one on Thursday as well, Jonas, if you see.
There are 2. Oh, Thursday is ODIM introduction. What the heck?
Right.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
so that's the double thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we start. Yeah. So we start off with the introduction on Tuesday the 2nd, and then on the 3rd we've got the bill.
Hold on, Luis.
Yeah. Sorry.
So are you saying the ONAP placeholder for ODIM on Tuesday is something that will go away?
Correct. That's
So hold on. So the ODIM is right now is earmarked for Thursday, the last session. So
it's on Tuesday as well. That's the problem.
Well, no. Well, this is the introduction. No. Well, this is so. Let me back up a second. So we actually have these 2 sessions. Let me go ahead and we have an introduction, and then we also have an ONAP. So let me just pull up another web page. Give me 1 second. We can take it down. Yeah. Hold on a second.
I suggest we take the Tuesday early down because it's going to be rough for Alex anyhow. But I think I
don't care to be honest. So in fact, the earlier the better, because I have other meetings that then I wouldn't have to miss. So I
Okay.
don't really care. But my point is this. My point is that in terms of sequencing, I think Jose is right. We need to make sure that, those that are interested in this topic at least understand the basics, right? And then we can get into the gory details of how to develop and build, and then we can talk about the specific use cases for the composition service and requirements, because it's important.
Well, the other angle there though is that if you and Joe's could talk to the ONUP folks about composition and stuff up front, then we might get more ONUP people attending the other sessions. That's another strategy, I guess. But
Yeah, but then it's the chicken and the egg, right? Because
yeah,
then, we're basically spending a lot of time talking about general introductory stuff, just to level set everybody instead of focusing on what we really want to know is whether or not they even want to collaborate, and B, kind of getting feedback on the areas of collaboration.
yeah. So I guess there was a misunderstanding, Louis. I thought there was only one ONUP session.
Yeah, there's one, I guess, yeah. So we had this original so this one we were trying to gear to specifically to the ONAP community. And this one, as I understood it, was more of a general for everyone else in the community. But, we can get rid of,
No.
one of
But
these.
if you look at the schedule, there are two ONUP sessions now for ODIM. So that's the problem.
So let's go back.
If you look at, there is one at Tuesday, early in the morning, and there is also one on Thursday.
Oh, I see. Oh, I don't know who put this one in here. Yeah, I see. Let me talk to Kenny. That's not supposed to be there.
Well, hang on a second. If we do on Tuesday, if we do the general introduction, which will give everybody a chance to kind of get started. Then
that's later, right? That's later than the ONUP placeholder.
That's my point. We need to reverse the two. Like we should be talking about the ONAP. We should be talking about the general ODIM introduction before the ONAP one.
So you're suggesting then that the Thursday ODIM introduction goes away for ONUP?
Well, yeah. See, this one here I put in the Thursday one, and this one on Tuesday. This may have been Kenny from the ONAP. So because I know it because we don't have there's no meeting link.
Well, the number of sessions is less important unless we can't cover it. What's important is sequencing, and what we're saying is that the general introduction to ODIM should come first, and then after that we can do whatever else we need to do.
That's fine. So we can move this general introduction up here, although this might be too early. You're saying?
I don't care.
Okay.
Then it's fine.
Then the question is, the ONAP session should be Tuesday or Thursday. Your call. Whatever you think. Right now we have it on. Well, we have it in two places, obviously. So
yeah.
This team must have just put up there because I hadn't seen this one last time. So cool. But we'll fix it up. So you just tell me where you want the ONAP session, and we'll get it.
So so far, I think we are debating two approaches, right? One, Alex, what you are suggesting is let's start with your ODIM introduction, and then have the tech sessions, and then when we finish up, we can talk about the composability use cases and how else we can.
Not necessarily. I'm sorry.
Is that what you're saying, or?
What I'm saying is that we start with the general introduction on day one, and then we have these breakouts having to do with releases, development, and the composition service requirements. That's how I would, or feedback. That's how I would, retitle the conversation that you want to have, right? because we want to focus it on stuff that's useful to your development team, right? If these guys have any feedback, let's get it now, is my point.
And Jonas's input is we should have this in the beginning itself so that we will get some traction, or at least we will.
No, I think I was just trying to put another angle forward, but I think if we start with the ODIM introduction, like Alex is saying, then I think we have set the stage for you guys to have a session with ONUP if you like to.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be the last thing we do, Jose. You can go anywhere after, like even immediately after if you wanted to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It's just that at least they know what we're talking about.
Okay. So where do we have the sessions right now? So Tuesday morning session is going to be yours. You are going to do the ODIM. And then what's the next breakout session, the actual release part?
So let's go ahead and just work through Tuesday, just so we're all on the same page. So right now for Tuesday, we have the general intro. So do you want to keep it here at 11? These are all Eastern times, by the way, that I'm showing here.
Oh, Eastern. Let me double check one.
These are Eastern.
No, we wanted that earlier.
Okay, so do you want, we put it up here at 9 o'clock, and this one will go away. So this ONAP session placeholder, I'm going to remove this now, and then I'll put.
That should be fine, Luis. Yeah.
Okay, let me do that right now. I'll delete it. Yes. So in that way, there's no more confusion there. Now this one will move up to this earlier slot. Is that what you're saying?
Alex, that's
or we can. Okay.
Yeah, I presume we're not having a TSC meeting at 6 a.m. So instead Pacific. So instead we will have this session and everybody can attend and answer questions.
Yeah, that reminds me, I should cancel that next week. I'll do that right away. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think I did it. I think I did it already.
Yeah, the T is, but the proposal meeting is mine, so let me cancel that.
Oh, okay.
Louis, that should be one.
So
9 to 10.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be 9 to 10, right? And then we can anytime.
Oh, this is 1 hour.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be any longer than that.
Okay, I think it's originally for 30 minutes, but that's fine. We can do an hour. Okay, I'll go ahead and drop this in and see what it looks like. Okay, where'd you go? Okay, there we go.
There it is. Okay.
There we go. 9 to 10 Eastern, Tuesday the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
General ODIM session.
And what
okay, very good.
What I can do in that session, Jose, is kind of create some, do some advertising for your session and say, here are the general use cases that we're going after, and composition is one specific use case that we have a separate session on, and we can make it sound attractive, hopefully enough that they will come to your session.
Sounds good.
But is that session now on Thursday then?
Or Tuesday.
So when is the next ODIM topic? When is the next ODIM breakout?
So ODIM for ONUP is scheduled on Thursday right now because it disappeared from Tuesday, right?
Right.
So first, a couple of things. Is that a good time for you, Joes? Because then I guess Alex's promoting you is gone. People have forgotten about that. But and the second question is, should we be calling it something else than ODIM introduction? We should probably be calling it orchestrate with ODIM or composition use cases for ONUP. I don't know what you guys say.
I think we can say we can call it. I would actually cast a wide net, right? Because we don't want to make it too specific, because then a lot of people will just say, yeah, I don't care about composability. But I think what we could talk about is a session title that says areas of synergy between ONAP and ODIM, or something like that. Make it generic enough, or ODIM use cases for ONAP. How's that?
I'm sorry, I missed that last one. One more time, Alex.
ODIM use cases for ONAP.
Perfect.
If
Fine
we
for
call
me.
it that, then Jose has the latitude to talk about a million different things if he so chooses.
Perfect.
Jose, is that
That's
good?
it. I'm good, Jonas. Yeah, I'm good with this. The
Perfect.
question I have is, should this session be after our release and demo, or should it be before that? It will be better after that, right? Or what's
Can be in parallel, right? Or because
The demo is on Wednesday, so if we stay with Thursday for ODIM and ONAP, it will be after, obviously. So we have an option, I guess, to move your session that we now called use cases for ONAP over to Tuesday, I guess, if you guys want to do that, or do you want to stay on Thursday?
So hold on. Before we introduce another factor, there's an issue here with Tuesday, and here's the problem.
Okay.
XGVEL and ODIM are using the same bridges, that new project bridges, so we have an overlap. So we have to move this intro call. Well, I mean, otherwise the other the reason I don't want to move XGVEL is because these folks are coming in from China, so I'm trying to get them as early as possible.
I'm okay. I actually just looked on my schedule, and it looks like the meeting that I couldn't miss on Tuesday got moved to Monday afternoon. So I'm good.
So then what time on Tuesday? Can you do it anytime after somewhere in this 10:30 Eastern slot or below, this afternoon area?
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I
okay.
think yes, anything can work.
How about if I drop it into, I can put it back to the 11 a.m. here time slot. Let me just put it there.
That'll be fine. I wouldn't be missing a lot of things.
Thank you for that. I do
like
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, who needs that?
Yeah.
There you go. So I sort of put it back here to that 11 o'clock slot. Is that okay? And that I appreciate it. That eliminates our conflict.
And you were making it 60 minutes.
It is.
Yes, I've made it. I've made it 60 minutes. Yes, I've increased it 30 minutes. Yeah. So 12. So 9 to what? 9 to 10 Pacific time. Is it 9?
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's 8. 8.
8 to
So
9.
this
8
is
o'clock.
good now, right?
Yeah, I think this is good.
Okay, so then now we can move on to Wednesday. So Wednesday we've got the release 1 overview at whatever time that is, 6:30 Pacific.
Yeah.
Then there's a break of 30 minutes, and then right after the break, we've got the build and the demo.
Yep, and that is being worked on. So that's good.
Yep. The only thing I would recommend is during sometime right before this release 1 review starts, just make everyone aware that we've got a demo after the break so that everyone comes back. Yep. Perfect.
Hey,
and then,
Jose, I'm sorry,
yeah.
Louis. Just want to
Go ahead, Alex.
because you were right on the right. I mean, you were pointing to a session that I think also has relevance to us. So yeah, this one, PNFs, right? So one idea we may throw out, which some companies may support, is the notion of composing PNFs, physical network functions.
Okay.
Being able to right size them, because that's a huge thing for ONAP. Right, PNF management is a huge problem, right? And today these PNFs are bespoke kind of predefined boxes, black boxes that are very vendor specific. And there's been a lot of discussion back and forth over the years to kind of see if they can be made composable, right? So you can kind of make it easier to create them, as opposed to predefine them, pre-configure them, like make them so static that they don't really fit in.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be one of the things we talk about, and it may be rejected outright, but giving some of these companies some food for thought in that space would actually be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And similar to this, I request everybody else also, right? Just think from where all no, we can go from here, right, where we are right now in terms of, and chime in with your inputs, similar to this PNF composability. If there is anything else, Erickson, you can bring in, or, Tite Avery, whatever you can bring in, that should help us. So that my session, my goal will be to say where we are right now briefly, and then talk about how all we can expand this to, right, in future, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Use cases.
What we can do, since we're now talking about Wednesday, right? What we can do is we have enough time to kind of recast those use cases in terms of business needs that some of these carriers have, as opposed to what I did, which was very kind of like ONAP centric, right? And then we can talk about, the fact that you need capacity, changes all the time on the edge, all these different use cases that come into play.
Absolutely. I think this goes very well. So I think the plan seems to be more concrete now and more flowing, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah.
And it's okay to have the ONAP PNF session concurrent with the demo session because these two, I mean, I guess that's okay then, that these two are sort of right. We're going to lose some folks because some people are going to be attending the PNF session here.
If we can change, it will be good.
Yeah, we just need to be sensitive to, I guess we can change it to 1 hour later, but in that scenario, I want to call out, let's see if Bharat is here. Bharat is here, yeah.
You're not gonna get anywhere 1 hour later. I can tell you why, because there's an architecture subcommittee meeting for ONAP.
Yep.
Let's leave it. We record it anyhow. I think because if we get any later, it's going to be very late for our engineering team.
Yeah. What I can also do, guys, is since the overview is coming first, I could actually talk about sessions that we're doing, right? I can put up a slide that says these are the sessions that, breakout sessions that we're having in this forum, right? And just give them times and dates and whatnot. So remind.
Yeah, you should advertise.
For everybody, right? I mean, we can just put up a summary of, sessions page or whatever.
Cool. Perfect.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
We had
and then as we talked about, the ODIM use cases for ONAP is here, 10:30 on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. So I will send out fresh invites because the ODIM introduction changed a little bit. So I'll send you a new Outlook for that. Wednesday, no change, so we're good on those. And then Thursday, I'll send out a fresh invite.
Can you hold that for just a second? I want to make sure we don't overlap with anything like really, really important.
Sure.
We got Aniket. Okay. ONAP using Orchestrate on Azure and Kubernetes. Okay. ONAP. I think we're all right.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're policy demos. Yeah, some people will probably go to these policy demos, but that's okay. I think we're in the right spot.
Yeah, we have to share the stage, obviously, with all these other, projects, obviously. So that everything's recorded. So, yeah. And then one last look at, Wednesday. ONAP 5G slicing might be popular. We talked about this day. And then Tuesday, we fit right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, well, your call if we're okay with everything.
And one other thing, I don't know how many people are in. There are 12 people, and so who's there today? It would be good to get other companies that are, kind of following ONAP or participating to kind of support these sessions in terms of commentary or whatever, right? So I may not remember everything that we need to do, but even in Jose's session, like he said, if we can get Ericsson to talk about, their ambitions, other companies, then that would be good.
Yeah, we can coordinate that, Alex. I'll try to reach out to Thomas and see if he has any inputs or any thoughts on where we can take this up in terms of use cases. And then
Well, I haven't checked my email yet, guys, but I just wanted to run one quick thing by you. In terms of positioning ONAP, positioning ODIM in the grand scheme of things, I was actually going to use the CNTT reference model diagram, or Aniket reference model diagram, that shows would show ODIM in that hardware infrastructure management space on the bottom right, because I think that would then make it much clearer in terms of where the boxes are and what the interactions might look like. Okay. So anyone has any thoughts around that? Let me know. I'm going to start working on the slides tomorrow, probably.
Okay, so good. Do you think we can close the topic of presentations? I summarized that we have actually rescheduled some presentations, and that we changed the name for the ONAP session to ODIM use cases for ONAP. And I saw you already did that, Louis, so we're fine there.
yes, Jonas.
One quick question on the Wednesday morning. It
Mhm.
just says HPE. Do you want to put Jonas and me for that first half hour? The release
Yeah,
one?
that's up to you, Louise. I guess it's
Oh, yeah,
Jonas Arndt and
absolutely.
Susan Bowen. Yeah,
Yep, absolutely. I'll take care of that right now. Yeah.
good
Okay.
catch, Susan. So then I just wanted to quickly, not something we need to do now, but I had a person yesterday from HPE just hitting our webpage and started trying to figure out what ODIM is, and I got a lot of feedback. So the first feedback was that, okay, on the landing page, it was still a lot of material for people who wanted to, or who needs to get up and running on Confluence. So I removed that stuff. And then the README file, obviously in the Git repository, was a little weird as well, no introduction to ODIM. So we are working on that. But I started a new landing page. It's very similar as the old one. I just add a little information about ODIM. I will continue that, and anybody that wants to help, feel free.
I looked at that this morning. Can I show something really quick on
Absolutely.
On Zoom? Let's
Yeah.
see if I can share. Okay, so you guys see this?
That's the ONAP one.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the ONAP landing page.
Mhm.
It has all the pertinent information all in one place. Current release notes, architecture overview, operations administration, use cases, whatever we need to do. Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the right side, they immediately talk about how to get involved in the community, release planning and management, and resources for developers. I think if we mimic the structure, this is really good, because this has been modified a million times to a point where everyone knows where everything is, and it's a good pattern, I think. My
Totally
suggestion
agree.
is that we adopt this as a template, and then
Yeah, let's do that. But I do think though that the size of the community is probably helping them to produce more content. So I think it's a good goal, right?
Yes, but in terms of general structure, we have a lot of this stuff already. If you look at ours, right? We have community meetings, we have presentations. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, you're right. They have to manage a greater volume of things. So these sessions will be much shorter. But still, we want to put them on that front page so people can understand, A, we're doing releases. B, here's how you get involved.
Yep, I totally agree. And if nobody has an allergic reaction to this, I think it looks really nice. So let's use that as a template. And then I guess I just wanted to remove what I did initially, Alex, was just removing the
I saw.
pointers to anything learning Confluence.
Yeah, like Confluence 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we also have, so even if we have this structure, we have a marketing type of area. And there, I guess, we are very few companies, few people right now. So it's hard for us to produce a lot of marketing things. But I'm thinking perhaps at least after we have done this session, this event, we can stick our recording of the demo perhaps. I don't know if that is something we can get away with legally. If not, at least our presentations we can stick on our marketing page, right?
We could, yes.
I think we can link. I think we can link over to the wiki at least, right? Because that's all public. Yeah.
Okay.
One other thing, Susan, do you think you can actually build like an externally consumable sort of roadmap slide that shows maybe 2 releases this year, potentially 3 releases next year? Just, it doesn't have to be, cast in stone, but I think we want to put that in that release planning and management space, right? Like they have a long-term roadmap. And so we could potentially kind of give them the landscape that we're working against and then say, we're on this release.
Yeah, take a look at that for sure.
Yeah.
Marketing. And then, okay, so Susan, look at.
What I'll try to do after this meeting, I'm not sure if we're having another meeting that I usually go to, but probably there's not much for me to contribute there. So what I'll try to do is kind of put this template up and recast some of the content in here, and then let's try to rearrange it, collectively.
If you're talking about another meeting that I am also sometimes going to, I think it's in my calendar at least, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so good. So I just summarized that Alex showed us the ONAP wiki, and we agree that it would be a good template for us. With agreeing, I mean that nobody else voiced any concerns, and I agree. We also discussed sticking the LFN presentation material on the marketing side of things. And then Susan will be looking at producing a roadmap slide at one point.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we get some structure, and it's easier now in the beginning than it is later. So yeah, I'll try to put some. Perhaps I can put text in there, Alex, and not links, so we know that this is going to be a link in the future.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can create an empty link and have and have it point nowhere. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the presentations page, and you can see there's like basic collateral. These are the template, and we need to have an ODIM template. There's training, there's developer events, there's summits, other things that they're doing, miscellaneous presentations. My point is that we can simply point the marketing page at some similar section on our website.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We also have documentation. I don't know if we should have that. The only thing that is in there today is our logo.zip file. So
yeah, we can move that around. I think what we need to do is build a branded template like ONAP did, and then put our logos obviously there, and that would be good enough probably.
Yeah. All right. If no other input to this topic, that was the last one, and I know everybody appreciates a few minutes before next meeting. So anything else we want to talk about today? Okay, I think we're in good shape for the next week's events. So no issues.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
You all. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.